Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we have gotten ourselves a secret recording of a secret interview between Charlie Rose and Vladimir Putin. I'm gonna play both parts. Charlie Rose. Well, before we can go on, we're still waiting on President Putin. And here he is, riding atop a horse named Smuckers. Now he dismounts Smuckers and picks up Smuckers and gives it a pony ride upstairs. I guess this is why he's known as a strongman. Hello, President Putin. Hello, Smuckers. Nay. Greetings from Smuckers. But I want a musical introduction, like you give Amerikansky to that Ivan Drago guy years ago. Ooh, Ivan Drago? Are you talking about that Russian boxer character from Rocky 4? In Russia, that movie is known as Ivan Drago Part 1, a hard-fought victory for the motherland. Well, I don't recall the entire plot of the film, but I believe that Rocky knocked Ivan out in the 12th round. Well, in Russia, we only show 11 rounds. Got it? Because then nobody would have gone to see the sequels. Sequels? What sequels? Well, Drago Part 2, even against Rambo. Then Part 3, even against the Terminator, and on and on. Now in Part 30, he finds his most dangerous American villain to date, the low oil prices. And he better win that one too, because if he doesn't, a year from now, there might be a different guy sitting in his chair. Well, anyway, Mr. Putin, 60 Minutes is a news program. We don't do musical introductions. Not even a few bars? No, we're too highbrow for that. Classy to a fault. By the way, note to our viewers, after the segment with President Putin, Steve Croft will interview Caitlyn Jenner, the most powerful woman on the planet. Ha ha ha. That's the difference between the West and the East. In the West, your male Olympic champion become women. In East, our female Olympic champion become men. Sometimes even horses. Right, Smuckers? Nay. Smuckers was an Olympic champion? No, a ballerina. Before we began to give him vitamins developed secretly in a KGB lab. Speaking of sports and the performance-enhancing drugs, the World Anti-Doping Agency has alleged that the Russians are the worst cheaters. Oh no, they're jealous of our greatness. In reality, our achievements are due to these factors: the Russian complexion and a daily Russian diet. An athlete wakes up, has a gallon of freshly squeezed beet juice for breakfast, a kilo of salted lard for dinner, and about 20 cc of bovine growth hormones before sleep. Within a couple of months, not only do they look like the Incredible Hulk, they also produce half a gallon of milk a day. And accusations are just pure politics. Alright, since we broached the subject of politics, let's talk about your country. Okay, here is everything you need to know about Russian politics. You're looking at it. I tell the Russians to jump off a balcony, and it better flates only the first floor. But don't you have a parliament to answer to, Charlie? If you were Russian, you'd be going up the stairs and nearing a dangerous oil slick. So watch your step and walk gingerly, or you could slip, tumble down, and suffer a grievous bodily injury. Well, at least you're not threatening with a plutonium poisoning like that guy in London. Oh ho ho, that guy's death had nothing to do with me. It was 100% English fault. Did you see the menu in that restaurant? A cup of tea, 3 pounds. A cup of tea with crumpets, 5 pounds. A cup of tea with crumpets and plutonium, 7 pounds. These prices can kill anybody. So it wasn't radioactive poisoning? No, it was an allergy, like you can have to a peanut butter or shellfish. Me personally, I eat plutonium 2-3 times a week, and I'm as healthy as a bull with 4 testicles. Nay, Smuckers is mad. He's are in a glass jar. So your health is fine. Charlie, Did you see the video of my most recent birthday party? After we ate the cake, we had an impromptu hockey game with impromptu pucks and impromptu sticks and impromptu squad of former Russian Hockey Hall of Famers. I scored 7 goals on a triple crown that night. A triple crown? Goals, points, and assists? No, the Russian triple crown. Sportsman of the Year, Politician of the Year, and the Sexiest Man Alive of the Year. I always win the last one. Someday, I might even win that award posthumously. Not for 2016, I hope. Let's talk about your personal wealth. There have been rumors you've maybe accumulated as much as $40 billion, a vast fortune. Ha 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 ha. Well, let's just say I'm not starving. Okay, I was starving once, and believe it or not, it happened in America. I was in New York after UN General Assembly meeting, and I couldn't find a salted herring in a bowl of borscht in Manhattan to save my life. So Smuckers and I went for a ride. Found the best burger joint in town. Went through drive-thru. I got myself a triple meat burger, and of course a giant salad for Smuckers with horsey sauce. As I'm ready to pay, the lady in the window says, "We don't accept bills larger than a 20. And I just happened to have 100 million on me. $100 million? Oh no, 100 million rubles. Well, how much is that in dollars? Almost 60 bucks. So we negotiated. I said, here's the deal. You keep the change, I keep the Crimea. Ha ha ha. So we can't talk about Crimea? Ha. Crimea no longer exists on the map. These days it's just called Putin land. See the map behind me? All Putin land. This includes Ukraine and half of Asia? Putin land. Belarus? Putin land. Georgia? Ditto. Anyway, thanks for coming over, Charlie. Do you recall a few years ago when all the celebrities came to Moscow for a big party at the Kremlin? Yeah, no, look it up. It's on YouTube. I did a cover of Blueberry Hill to the standing ovation and thunderous applause. You want to see what the fuss is about? Well, like I said, it's not an entertainment show. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Hey, Charlie, if you're going to edit this part anyway, could you introduce me to Joey Bishop? I think he might really like that 1950s stuff. Sorry, Vladimir. Joey's no longer with us. What about S. Sullivan? You know, I can juggle a little or spin plates. Heck, I can even wrestle a grizzly bear. Anything to show up my soft side to you Americans. Well, Ed's gone too. Then it's time for a musical farewell. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, on Blueberry Hill. Ta-ra-ta-ta-ta.